Hey guys, welcome back to Math with McKay. We're continuing on with multiplying fractions. This time we're multiplying unit fraction by non-unit fraction. So when we talk about unit fraction, remember that numerator is 1. When it is a non-unit fraction, that numerator is anything but the number 1, okay? So remember when we kind of went through it in class the other day and we kind of talked about how to break it up. Remember, your denominator tells you the whole. How much do you have all together? And your numerator tells you how many of what you have is shaded, all right? So we'll look at some examples and kind of go from there and then answer some questions. So here, we're just going to show you just a few without any word problems or anything like that. So for example, here we have, let's say, 1/2 of, remember that word of means multiplication, 1/2 of 3/5, okay? And the other day, we were taught how to model it on the number line, the circle, and the rectangle. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna do the same thing. So here, we're going to take 1/2 of 3/5. I'm going to use my 3 demonstrations to go ahead and show this. So here is the circle, right? Remember with the circle, we started with the second fraction. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to break it up into fifths. All right? So here we have our fifths. Remember, the numerator tells you how many of those we shade in. So here it says that we need to cover up 3 of these with purple. Okay? So then I'm going to come through and I'm going to use a different color to demonstrate the 1/2. So here we have 3 out of the 5, which leaves us with 2 remaining. Okay? So then we go ahead and we say that each one of these have to be broken up into half. I'm going to divide that with the black. So now you'll notice we have 1, 2, 3. So 1, 2, these are different colors so we can see it. 1, 2, 3. 10 pieces, okay? Of the halves that we broke it up into, we have to shade in one of those halves. So here, then you ask yourself, which one or how many of them have both the purple and the blue? 1, 2, 3. 3 out of the 5. Remember, we do numerator times numerator. 1 times 3 is 3. Denominator times denominator. So we get a total of 3/10. Okay? So now I'm going to go ahead and do the rectangles. The first box is for the first fraction. The second box is for the second fraction. And the third box is going to give us our answer. Remember, we have to break these up in different forms, okay? So this one, I'm going to break it up using columns. This one, I'm going to break it up using rows. This one is going to be the combination of both. The denominator says that there has to be 2 columns, so I'm going to put 2 columns. The denominator says that there has to be 5 rows, so I'm going to put 5 rows. Because this denominator gave us 2 columns and this denominator gave us 5 rows, 2 columns, 1, 2, and I need 5 rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Because the numerator says that I have to shade in 1 out of the 2, I'm going to shade in 1 out of the 2. Because this denominator says that I have to shade in 3 out of the 5, I'm going to shade in 3 out of the 5. So then when I get over here, I'm going to shade in 1 of the 2. And then when I get here, I'm also going to shade in of the 5. And we'll notice that this is the only 3 that has both colors on them. Now, here we'll do the number line, all right? Number line, same concept, same exact thing. I take the second fraction, and we break it up according to the second fraction. So 4 lines gives me 5 sections. Of this 5, I need 3, okay? Then I need to take these 5 and I need to cut them in half. And then of the halves, I only need 1 to give us 1 out of 10. Okay? Here we have this word problem, and it says 5/8 of the song on Harrison's music player are hip hop, and 1/3 of the remaining songs are rhythm and blues. What fraction of all the songs are rhythm and blues? Now, for this question, they want us to use a tape diagram, right? Remember, your denominator tells you how many of all of the pieces you have all together. So this was the original denominator that they gave us. It says 5/8 of Harrison's song, which means that Harrison had a total of 8 songs, right? So I take this tape diagram and break it up into 8 sections. 8 sections, right? They tell us that 5 out of the 8 is hip hop. So this is the total amount that he has altogether, right? So that's total, right? They tell us that 5 out of the 8, that is hip hop. Then the remaining songs, 1 out of the 3 is rhythm and blues. So 1 out of the 3, but there are a total of 8, so that would mean that 1 out of 8 would give us rhythm and blues, okay? So we're gonna go ahead and actually work this out using the operations and actually solving for it. One might ask, how do we get that answer by doing the tape diagram? So if we were to actually go ahead and carry this out, right? So this says the remaining, right? There's remaining. So if the total is 8, right? So I have 5/8 accounted for, right? And I need to get a total of 8 out of 8, right? So how many do I have to add in order to get a total of 8 out of 8? It would be 3/8 remaining, right? 3/8 of the song is left over. So they said 1/3 of the remaining song. So that's saying 1/3 times the remaining song. So we take 3/8 and multiply it by 1/3. 3 times 1 is 3. 8 times 3 is 24. But that wasn't our answer. Our answer came out to be 1/8. So I find the greatest common factor and divide both the numerator and the denominator by the greatest common factor. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 24 divided by 3 is 8. All right? So whenever you got to pay attention to the details within the sentence itself. Remember that word of means multiplication. So that's how I knew to go ahead and multiply 3/8 times 1/3.